Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome General Manager at ServiceNow, Farrell Hough.
All right. The era of experience is here. In IT, all of you, we have been managing cost and driving productivity for years. And now, you have to layer on customer experience and employee experience. But that's all right. We got it. We've been through these kinds of changes before. Let's talk a little bit about that. The first era of change we went through was infrastructure. And in that era, it was all about managing cost and driving efficiency, and we built the most efficient business processes you've ever seen. Then, in the era of cloud, it was all about speed and delivering service at light speed. And that was when we built our very first sense of orientation towards service. We really took service ownership to heart. But now, we're in the era of experience. And that's a whole different deal. Those who do well will be able to be multi-channel, multi-device, anytime, anywhere, at somebody else's convenience, not your own, all the time, every time. And who is it that's going to do all that? I think you know. It's all of you. It's all of you here in this room. IT is going to deliver on the era of experience. And before I move forward, first, I want to thank you guys. For the past year and a half, we've been working on the experiences that we're going to show you today. And the spectrum of experiences are across all these roles in IT. And they won't be limited to just that either. But you have joined our packs. You've been in our design councils. You've participated in our community, and you gave us feedback, and you've held us accountable. And we are deeply inspired and grateful to each and every one of you. Thank you. But let me talk a little bit about these roles. So fulfillers. Nobody comes to work each day saying or describing themselves as fulfillers. But when something breaks, when somebody needs help, it's those resources that show up and make it happen. Your laptop's broken, I'll get you a new one. Your phone's broken, I'll get you a new one. You want the latest upgrade? I'll get you that too. Those are fulfillers. Then when we start talking about requesters, it gets a little interesting. That's all of us. That's every single one of us in this room is a requester. And I don't know, I think we're a little demanding. We kind of want a lot of stuff, kind of like that upgrade, that laptop, right away, right now. When we're looking at another persona in IT, planners, these guys are dealing with all the demands in the organization. And there's a lot of them. We just talked about how demanding we can be. There's no shortage of projects. There's no shortage of work to be done. But the planners take all that demand in. They make sense of it. They help us understand what a portfolio needs to look like. We start to rationalize cost. We rationalize a portfolio overall. And we get a good sense about what we can deliver. Next up is the glue of the organization, the operators. We can build all the experiences that we want. Hey there, Anthony. We can build all the experiences that we want, but if they're not up and running or they're not performant, it's not good enough, and the operators are the ones that are dealing with it. This spectrum, all these roles in IT, I hope you see yourself in there. At least one of them, if not two of them. You've probably done one or two before in your career. But every single one of these roles deserves an experience, and we're going to walk through them today. So fulfillers, 80% of you in this room fall into this category, play this role in the organization. And it's not an easy one. And we said, you know what? The millions of fulfillers on our platform deserve a really great experience. Let's go and start digging in and look at what's there and make it better. Make it the best experience that it can possibly be. In order for us to do that, we had to dig deep, and we had to get resources that we didn't have. And we had to do things that we hadn't done before. But to talk about that a bit more in detail, I want to bring my friend Troy Asmoon out on the stage to talk about fulfiller experience. Please welcome Troy.
Yo, check this out.
Hey.
Thanks for having me.
I knew he would do something. I knew he was going to do something. All right, Troy. I want you to tell everybody, what is it about these pictures that should give everyone confidence about a fulfiller experience, or any experience for that matter?
Sure. So what these photos represent is what happens when enterprise software makes a huge investment in product design. Over the past year, we've more than doubled the size of our design team. We've also acquired a great design team in digital telepathy.
There they are.
Many of whom are here in the audience today. And we've also built the design studio, which is what you see in these photos. And that's a place where product owners, engineers, and designers can get together to collaborate on the next generation of the ServiceNow experience. And the first fruit of which we're going to show you today in demo, which is Agent Workspace.
OK, but you guys don't just hang out in the office all day and build up amazing product. That's not how we landed where we did. Tell us what you did. Where'd you go?
Sure. So another thing that I want to mention is that we actually have an amazing user research team that we've built in-house. And they're a world-class group of people. And they've traveled all over the world, from Boise, Idaho, to Budapest, to Bangalore in India.
All right, Troy, just a second. Do we have a bias towards going to cities that only start with B? Tell me we don't. We go to other places.
So our user research team has one small phobia. They only like to travel to cities that start with the letter B. But we have a workaround. So if you'd like us to come to you to learn more about your team, to build better products with you, just work with your account manager. They'll change the first letter of your city's name to a B. So if it's Pleasanton, Pleasanton, Tokyo, Bokyo, London, Bundon. Okay?
All right. OK.
So
I guess that'll work. We'll work on that. We might expand the team a little more. So let's talk about the challenges that you guys saw
absolutely.
When you went to all these cities that started with B.
Sure, absolutely. So all the B cities, it turns out they dealt with a lot of the same challenges. We went out to these cities, and we realized that agents deal with the same kind of problems everywhere. The first big problem is getting a 30,000-foot view when they start their workday. These folks want to be able to understand, without digging into the details, if they're dealing with a high-priority issue, if it's been sitting for a while and it's stale, and so forth, without having to dig really deep. The next issue they want to deal with is being able to handle multiple things coming in and being able to handle flowing through them as priorities shift. And finally, being able to tackle a ticket and resolve it as quickly as possible at a high level of quality was another big challenge universally all agents struggled with.
OK, but in great ServiceNow fashion, we addressed it. Why don't we talk about that?
That's right. So with Agent Workspace, we sought out to address all three. The 30,000-foot view through a tailored UI that's made just for agents. The context switching challenge that we solved through a new navigation paradigm that allows agents to flow seamlessly through different tickets as required, and then flow back to finish things and pick up where they left off. And then finally, the ability to work through tickets much quicker than ever before using automated intelligence we've introduced into the experience.
All right, I'm anxious to get into the demo. Let's switch gears and get into that.
OK, let's dive in.
All right.
All right. So here's the new Agent Workspace. So what you see on the far left of your screen here is lists, chats, and if you look on your far right, we can see the Agent Assist area, and we'll dive into that piece later.
And this is really just like an orientation screen. So when you switch from an old UI and you're going into a new one, you kind of want to know what you're dealing with. So you see this one time, and then it goes away after that, correct?
That's right. This is just to help people get their bearings. There's nothing worse for anybody than being told to get to your job and you've never done it before and just wondering, God, now the first thing I'm going to do is go ask my boss how to do my job. No one wants to go through that, so we wanted to create kind of a splash screen before you begin your session.
Okay.
So let's go deeper. Let's dive into that 30,000-foot view. So this is a screen that agents are going to experience every day. And if you've worked with the ServiceNow platform before, you'll notice there's one very significant change here that's going to make a big impact to agents, and that's that we've bifurcated the form so that no longer will the state of a record take priority over something that agents most of the time are very focused on, which is the actual work taking place inside the activity stream. So we went to a lot of different companies that are using ServiceNow, and we noticed that some of the top agents oftentimes were rotating their monitors 90 degrees to get around this problem. And I remember coming back to my hotel room and being very depressed because I was causing a lot of pain. I took it very personally.
I know. Can you imagine that? If your desktop is littered with monitors and they're turned vertically so that it's oriented, I mean, that's a great workaround. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
But like, we fixed it. It's in the product.
That's right. So no longer will agents have to scroll 1.4 screens every time they want to look at a record that's already been created. Any pertinent changes that have occurred in recent history will be on that initial screen, enabling them to focus on determining if they want to dive deeper or not into that ticket. So let's go and explore the list view for a second here and open up yet another ticket. So we've opened up another ticket, and you'll notice on the screen here, we've introduced a tab paradigm that's native to the workspace.
So that wasn't another browser tab.
That's right. So in the past, again, we looked at high-performing agents when we went out in the field, and we noticed very often they'd be opening up multiple browser tabs so they could keep work coming, keep work flowing. And we realized if we could build that into the ServiceNow experience, it's one less UI agents have to navigate through when they're trying to do their job. So that is huge. And then we took it one step further by saying, well, how can we make it so that if you are working in a ticket and there's related incidents you've got to dive into, we can clear that experience up too. So check it out as we open up an additional child incident here. And you'll see that next level of the navigation paradigm. There's going to be a child-parent relationship inside the UI. And what this means for an agent is they could literally work with dozens of records in the UI, something you couldn't even get away with in your browser, and still make sense of it all. And when they're done working on a ticket, that master ticket, and they've closed it out, they can close that tab, and all those children incidents underneath close out with them, allowing them to focus on getting work done rather than having to tidy up the screen all the time.
Okay, well, that's challenge number one solved right there. So able to stay at that 30,000-foot level and prioritize your work, and it stays relevant. Any related record is going to open up to the incident that it corresponds to, or any other task that it corresponds to, for that matter. Challenge one solved.
That's right.
Take it.
So, thank you. So let's go on to challenge two. And challenge two is around context switching. So we saw a lot of people that would sit down with in the field, and they wanted to show us the way they work. And I swear to you, half the time as they're trying to show us what they do in a ticket, someone else would come by. The phone would ring. An actual customer would say, I need some help, or a new ticket would come to their desk, and they'd have to stop what they're doing and cut over to an actual piece of work they needed to get done right that second before they could keep working with us. And we said, aha, why don't we make sure that in this new experience, you can actually work inside a ticket and make changes to it in real time, and if you need to back out of those changes, because you're disrupted, there's a new high priority issue, you can then cut over to another record, take a look at what you got to do there, and when you come back, everything in that original tab has saved state, and you can keep working through it and save it and finish it up. And if you try and close it out without saving, we'll let you know, hey, you didn't save, are you sure you want to close that out? And that's the kind of thing that's just super helpful. Make sure that when somebody puts work into their tickets, they don't lose it because of this context-switching discordance that can oftentimes happen in the real world.
All right, disruption happens, interruption happens, context switching happens. Let's work with it, not around it. That's challenge number two solved.
That's right. And that takes us to number three. And so in number three, I'm going to take you into a different part of our UI. We have this chat capability, and we've bifurcated lists and chats in this UI because chats are much more immediate, right? There's an actual person on the other side of that screen that's waiting for help. So we go into chat, and we see in our queue, we've got somebody in our VIP queue that's asking for assistance. So I'm going to see what this person needs and what I can do to help them. OK, so it looks like this person needs some help with their printer. And they've done some basic troubleshooting. So what I'm going to do now is make the judgment that we've got to create an incident and get a tech out to help them. So I'll create a new incident. And you'll notice that when I do that, the system automatically scrapes that customer's request and places it into the short description, so I don't have to do it myself. Super useful when all I'm trying to do is help somebody out. My job as an agent isn't to type. My job is to help people. And that's what I come to work to do every day. And on top of that, our Agent Assist piece on the far right takes a short description and automatically pulls that information into Agent Assist to bring up a list of relevant topics, things you might want to order, and so forth inside the Agent Assist box. It's almost like having a bunch of magical elves in your fanny pack that just pop out whenever you need them to reduce the amount of load that you have to deal with as an agent, that cognitive load problem. So again, you can focus on getting the right information and helping the customer. And in this case, we're going to grab an article on troubleshooting this printer and attach it to the record in real time while this customer's here. And then we're going to go back into the chat and let them know, hey, we've got the ticket in there, a tech is going to come out, and we're going to get the issue solved ASAP.
All right.
There you go.
I've been listening to you pretty closely. So you're telling me that we are copying and pasting text from the chat into the incident, pre-populating stuff, so we're not having people have to retype things or copy and paste, and then we're executing a search on their behalf, bringing up relevant information. That sounds like time savings to me.
Big time. And all that time saved can be
3.
focused on helping that customer out and giving them the attention they deserve. So it's huge.
OK. I'll take elves and fanny packs if that's what that is.
All right.
Awesome. OK.
OK. So that basically sums up the experience of Agent Workspace in about a 5-minute demo. And again, the top 3 things here are the 30,000-foot view, which gives agents the ability to very quickly make a judgment call on whether they need to focus on an issue right now or they can punt it to later, the ability to context switch and flow through different issues as priorities change, and finally, giving agents the ability to handle tickets and resolve them more quickly than ever before at a higher level of quality for the benefit of end customers. And it's been a really exciting project to work on. The deeper we got into it, especially when we met with our customers and spent time with everybody at their desks, we realized that it was a great feeling to help people that spend literally their entire day helping other people. Yeah. Yep.
Spend their entire day in ServiceNow. That's all of you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
And
awesome.
I want to thank everybody. I want to thank our product teams, our quality teams, our engineering teams, our design teams, and especially customers for going on this journey with us. We're at the very beginning of the next generation of the ServiceNow experience, and I thank you all for your time today. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you so much, Troy. Get out of here.
All right.
No, go. OK. All right. Agent Workspace is available in London. And I don't know about you, but this is probably the most exciting thing that we have put forward in the app teams in a long time. How do you feel about it? I want to hear it right now. Agent Workspace. Awesome. It's the command center for prioritizing and taking action. We will be investing in a lot of other roles in IT to take advantage of this framework. It doesn't just stop with the fulfiller. It's every single role in IT, every single role in the enterprise will be able to take advantage of Workspace as we build it out and scale it with your help. All right. Requesters come up next. With fulfillers getting everything they need at a glance, they're going to be able to give us a lot more and a much more immediate service, don't you think? I think so. All right, moving into the requester experience. That's all of us. We talked about that. So you should be able to relate very easily to the challenges that I'm going to put forward here. Today's services, today's channels for service aren't enough. If I am driving my daughter's carpool and I'm waiting to pick up the kids and I need to check on the laptop that's supposed to be shipped to my house so I can travel tomorrow, I'm not going to pick up the phone and call IT. And I'm not in front of a desktop. And I really need immediate service, like right now, because that's how I get it everywhere else. And by the way, please don't give me the mental overhead of having to keep track of progress of the work that I need executed on my behalf. I need the transparency, and I don't have that visibility. But that's okay, because we are going to give you multi-channel, 2 more channels to be able to use against multiple devices. It'll be fast and convenient. And best of all, you'll be able to have that transparency. You'll be able to see exactly what's going on with your ticket, what's going on with your request. Are they waiting on you? I don't want to waste time with that. All right, but let me show you what I mean. First channel we're going to look at is the virtual agent. All right, virtual agents are really great for those quick one-time requests that we all have. I'm going to engage on my mobile. I'm going to look at it. I'm going to look and pull up topics and say, OK, yep, I've got an issue. We'll wait for my demo to catch up. OK, awesome. And so that immediate responsiveness and engagement created some good confidence in me to keep going. But what's even better, the transparency of the list that's showing here, the conversation topics that this virtual agent can handle, because they were pre-built for me, that gives me confidence in I'm not going to be wasting my time engaging with this virtual agent. I'm using the right channel in the right moment. Those conversations are pre-built by ServiceNow. You'll get 10 out of the box for ITSM, and I think 6 or 8 for CSM and HR coming in the London timeframe. You'll be able to adjust those out-of-the-box flows for your own context. You'll even be able to build your own. In this case, progressing the scenario, I'm going to click on Check Ticket Status, because that's what I want to do. It would bring up all the records that you have here. In this case, I just have one. And I can see here very clearly by looking at this window that IT's waiting for me. I didn't know. OK, so yes, I absolutely want to progress forward. I want you to reset my VPN. I can comment. From here, I can also approve records. I can progress the workflow that's going on. You'll be able to get that response that you're looking for and have confidence in the channel that you chose, that they're going to be able to deliver for you. Virtual Agent is an incredible self-service channel that's available to you in London. But the virtual agent isn't always the option that's going to work for you. Sometimes something's broken and you need absolute immediate help. And so for that, I'm going to kind of create a scenario for us here just to make it work. I need this clicker right now. I really need it to keep this conversation going. But if it broke, I would need help immediately. Hi, Gerald. I would need help immediately. So I am going to ask Jason to hold this clicker for me, and we're just going to pretend that I lost it or that it's broken, and I'm going to figure out if there's a channel of service that's going to help me. And the one that comes to mind that's on demand and that I can check would be a walk-up queue. Do you guys use walk-up queues? Do you have them? Do you like them? We use them in our personal lives, like Genius bars, that kind of thing. OK, well, that's what I'm talking about. I use ours at ServiceNow regularly. And in fact, I love to load up my issues because I know they're going to be there and they're going to deal with me. So that's the kind of situation I've got right now. I need immediate help. So I'm going to go to, again, in a mobile interface, I'm going to go to the kiosk check-in here at K18. And I'm going to see if anybody is ahead of me. And is it worth my time to wait? Or do I need to escalate in some other way? Nobody is waiting. And so I'm going to select a reason for visiting. And when I do that, I'm going to submit it, and it's going to put me in queue. And look at that. I'm number 1. That's my favorite place to be. So number 1 in the queue. And it's letting me know how much time has passed and how long I've been waiting. And you would see other people start to come in behind me, and you would start to see the same thing from that mobile interface. And the value in doing that is that I can sit at my desk if I want to. This is available on a desktop. This is available on a tablet. It's totally fine. But I can sit at my desk and manage my time. I don't show up and waste my time. I know that IT is going to be there for me, and it was just this simple transparency that had to happen. So now I'm going to go mosey on down to the walk-up over here. But you know what? Have you guys been walking a lot? Have you been walking a lot here at K18? How many people out here, like 15,000 steps a day, at least? How many? Come on, there, really? Okay. 18, we got any 20s in here? Yeah, it's a lot. So, you know, I'm kind of tired of walking this far. I think I'm just going to scoot. I think I'm just going to scoot my way over there, have a little fun around here. I think we should give these out to everybody at Knowledge, don't you think? Like, we might have some accidents, but I don't know. I think it'll be all right. We'll be okay. All right, I saved myself like maybe, I don't know, what, like 20 steps. But it would be great to have scooters if anybody's listening. I would love to have that. All right, so I'm moving over here to the walk-up queue. And, you know, I would walk in, and I can very clearly, I know I'm in the right place. I see myself here on the screen, and there's supposed to be a technician who would be helping me, and it's Darius, and I know Darius, and he's very reliable. But right now, I cannot find him. All right, Darius, I don't know exactly where you are. Oh, Darius! Darius!
Hey, Farrell.
Oh, all right, that was a fancy little trick you did. Okay, you gotta help me. I lost my clicker.
Not a problem, because I can see from when you checked in, you noticed that you needed something. In this case, I'm guessing it's a clicker. But the great part about this walk-up experience that we're delivering in ServiceNow is it includes all the interfaces that you need to run a successful walk-up contact channel. So we're talking from an on-site queue to an on-site CSAT survey, and even on-site check-in. And online, you noticed that you had that great check-in experience as well.
Yes, I loved that. I really did. It made me feel really confident I was going to show up here and you would be here, although you weren't, like, right when I needed you, but it was good.
So in your case, I know I have at least one extra clicker or clicker-like object left in my stockroom. So let me go ahead and check on that for you, Farrell.
Okay. He's such a ham. I don't know where he gets this stuff. Right, that's your stockroom?
That's the stockroom.
I love that. A nice stockroom right here.
This is the ServiceNow tax dollars at work right here. So let's see what I got for you, Farrell. So you told me clicker, so we need a way to progress the slides. And I think I got just the thing. What do you think, you guys?
No, that's not going to work.
That's not going to work?
Squeezing a rubber
Okay,
tree.
hang on. That sounds like a clicker to me, Farrell.
No, it is absolutely not in there. I know it isn't.
Okay.
You have to have a clicker for me. This is going to be a little embarrassing. Won't be able to move forward.
On a serious note, I absolutely do have a clicker for you, Farrell. And the great news is that with a walk-up contact channel, it's been proven to have the highest customer satisfaction compared to anything else. You talk about your traditional call-in, email, self-service, and even our now popular friend, the virtual agent. So with that satisfaction metric in mind, Farrell, I'm going to ask you to take my own satisfaction survey on your way out.
All right. Well, I don't know. I need you guys to weigh in. I did get assaulted by plastic snakes coming out of a can. How did Darius do? You're like, I should give him a good green thumbs up. All right, I'll do it. You're lucky this time. Actually, you're a lifesaver. Thanks so much.
No problem. A lifesaver? Yes. Now, let me think to myself, though.
Oh no, that looks like it was the last clicker. We should really enforce a minimum inventory level. Man, I have so many wonderful ideas. And now that we have a new continual service improvement application in ServiceNow, I can easily submit those recommendations. All right, let me log a CI entry to track this walk-up inventory improvement. And let's see, compared to my other chicken ideas, this one's definitely high priority. So let me just enter the descriptions, why it's important, and I'll be done.
All right, let's cut back the slides. Perfect. All right, so requesters' experiences, we've added 2 new channels. And with that, they're available on mobile experience, on desktop, any channel that's going to be convenient for you. You've got a walk-up experience, and you've got a virtual agent. It's fast, convenient, on-demand, channel that works for me when I want it, when I need it. And the transparency, that's everything. That's absolutely everything. I knew when I looked at that virtual agent and I saw the conversation list, I trusted it. I knew it was very likely to be able to handle my service request or whatever my issue was. And when I was in a moment of dire need, I was able to log into the kiosk, and I saw where I would be in line. And so I knew I could manage my time, or I would show up, and they would be able to support me, and Darius gave me my clicker back. So that was awesome. As you know, in the London timeframe, ServiceNow replatformed our Clue acquisition into a virtual agent that's conversation-based, and it's going to take you past chat. It's rich text formatting. You've got a carousel in there for pictures. It's going to engage dynamically with the service catalog, order items, execute approvals, execute workflows, all of that and more. We also made a recent acquisition just this past week. We'll be adding more and more capability into that virtual agent, like natural language understanding, to make that channel more and more and more relevant and valuable to requesters. And the walk-up experience, it's been overdue. We needed it a long time ago, and it's one of my favorite channels. As I said, I'm super excited for you guys to have this. These are the requester experiences in our London timeframe. What do you think? Thanks. Good. All right. With that, we've got requesters that have delightful and painless experiences, even more with IT. As we transition into the planner experience, I want you to think about all the demands that come to planners. You saw we're putting a continual service improvement application in the London timeframe as well. That's going to be a source, a potential source of projects and ideas, ways we can improve the business overall. But there's demands that are coming from everywhere. There's pesky little things, big things. We've got 2019 budget planning coming down. Our planners in IT take all of that demand and they make it meaningful. They turn it into something that they can give a full view, create status reports for anyone at any time, and they work really hard to drive projects on budget, on time, and with a great outcome, business outcome, that drives satisfaction in the business. But I want to bring out two people who can talk about the planner experience in detail. Two people who've got incredible expertise in this area, Kevin Nanny, ITBM product lead, and also Lily Suksam-Lane, who is in our own ServiceNow IT organization, driving our ServiceNow portfolio of projects. I'd love both of them to come join me on the stage. Please welcome them. Kevin and Lily. All right. Take it away, guys.
Thank you, Farrell. All right, we're going to talk about the challenges around the planner. Who better to talk through this with me than someone from our own IT department who is a planner, right, Lily?
Right.
Okay, so we're going to focus on 3 challenges today. We're going to focus on that conversation around demand coming from the business inside of IT. There is so much noise coming from the business, it can be absolutely deafening inside of IT, right? Imagine everyone in this audience asking me for a feature all at the same time and me trying to understand and hear what you say. It's not going to happen. I'm not going to get it, right? The second challenge that we're going to talk about is how do we align the work inside of IT with the business goals or even the business capacity? I was talking to a customer about a month ago, and they were telling me, hey, Kev, we figured out that 50% of our projects were not aligned, and this was across all of IT, were not aligned to the business. Well, naturally, I kind of looked at him funny. I said, well, how much money are we talking about? How much, is in this portfolio or in these projects? He says $30 million. That's a big miss. That sounded terrible to me. So the last challenge we're going to talk about is getting that work to the finish line with success, right? So there's a report out there, and this report hasn't changed in 10 years. And it says that 30% of all IT projects are successful. That's great. 70% then are in a failed or a challenged state. So that's a lot of red and yellow status we're seeing across projects within IT. So how can we see that work as we get towards that finish line, driving quality, driving velocity? How can we see that work, move that work if necessary, optimize it in an agile fashion? So what Lily and I are going to do is we're going to walk you through using ITBM, and we're going to talk about capturing that voice of the customer using demand management. We're going to look at the portfolio workbench. How can we align demands and projects with our business goals and our business capacity? And then we're going to look at the new Agile framework and see how we can get visibility into that work. How can we move that work and see that success really hit the finish line? So we're going to jump to a demo. And Lily, let's look at demand management. How can we take Darius's walk-up inventory request and look at the risk and value and see what we need to do?
Sure, Kevin. Let's address the first challenge, which is centralized demands. On the upper left-hand corner, we can see Darius's demand for walk-up service optimization is the large green bubble. And because it's in the high value but low risk quadrant, it should definitely be funded. So let's take action on the requesting situation.
All right, so what you're looking at, I got all my demand in one place, all the visibility, I can make those decisions, right? I can measure it out. So then how do I know from a business perspective or from a portfolio perspective, do I have the capacity to get something like this done?
Yep. So let's address the second challenge, which is aligning the work with the portfolio, and take a look at the portfolio workbench. So we can see on the upper right-hand side, there's a red triangle. So that means that this portfolio is over budget. And on the lower right-hand side, the resources are over allocated. We need to take action to correct this portfolio and get it back in alignment. So I can see Darius's request for the walk-up service is ranked higher than some of the other projects in the portfolio. So Kevin, watch what happens when I deselect the two lower bottom items and remove them from the portfolio. We can see that we're now back in alignment as far as budget's concerned, and the resources are no longer over allocated. So now that we've got this portfolio back in alignment, let's build and deliver it.
Okay, so I really like this, right? I've got a workbench, I've got all my demands, projects, I can pull them in, right? I can look at capacity, in this case, resources and budget. See what kind of decisions I'm going to make and how that's going to affect my capacity. How is it going to align with my goals moving forward? That's really great. So then let's get that work to the finish line. How can I get visibility into the work itself? And if I need to move it around, make that happen.
So let's address the last challenge, which is getting to the finish line. But first, Kevin, let me point out that amazing service experiences don't arise from shipping lots of code really fast. I mean, agility is vital, of course, but services aren't just code. Take the walk-up service, for example. It requires code, inventory, facilities, and stockroom coordination. It's a full-fledged customer service experience that requires people multiple disciplines to deliver. And we all have to be as agile as our coders to be successful. I mean, that's why I love ServiceNow, because all of our work is right there on the platform, and it works for everyone. So let's take a look at the project workbench. The project to build out the walk-up stockroom is related to the Agile epic to develop the new inventory balancing logic. We all have different roles and skill sets, and we even use different delivery processes, but ServiceNow makes it easy for us to execute and succeed as a team. For our development teams, they're able to work in an Agile board, an interface that was specifically designed for them while keeping them connected to the source of their work. I can work with my teams to plan and prioritize their development work by moving their stories into sprints, and as they complete the work, the status is automatically reflected in the project, and we're getting to that finish line.
Okay, thank you. That's some of my favorite UI that's been out there. So we looked at ITBM demand management. How can we take all of that demand coming in, see it in a single place, risk value assessment, and make that decision, right? The second thing we did was Lily showed you the portfolio workbench, right? All of our work, demand projects in there, looking against business capacity, business values, business goals, helping execute that work and push it along. And then the last thing was the Agile framework. Right? Moving our stories, looking across all of our epics, moving our stories around, making sure the sprints are going to be successful when we hit that finish line. So the tech you saw today, the portfolio workbench, that's available in Kingston. Right? We did a ton of work in Kingston on that. The second thing was the Agile framework. Now, we spent a lot of time on this, and that's coming out in London. Super proud of it. So I think it's safe to say that Darius is going to be happy because his inventory walk-up experience request is going to make it through. Lily, as a planner, hopefully is happy because she's got everything she needs to make those decisions. And the business is going to see the value coming out of IT as we're going to be aligned. So now planners can align IT to the business easier and better than we could before. Thank you. Farrell?
Thanks.
Thanks.
All right, we've got one more announcement for you, and that is that in the Madrid release, we will be bringing to market, bringing to all of you enterprise DevOps. And that's the perfect use case for talking about all the roles in IT and all the roles in the enterprise having to work together. We need to make sure that we keep up with the speed and the pace of business, and we're going to be able to do that in the enterprise DevOps product. You're also going to get visibility that you don't have when you've got a fragmented tool chain. We're going to stitch all that together and give you complete visibility into what is happening with products, services that you're releasing out to your customers and to your employees. And then sometimes things go wrong. We don't have to slow down the pace of business. We're being worried about something going wrong. But when it does, we want to be able to have control over it. We want to be able to execute a change rollback as quickly as possible and know exactly where that happened and feel confident about it. Can't wait for this to come out. All right, I've got one more thing for you related to the planner experience. I have a special guest, Donna Woodruff from Cox Automotive. Donna has been an incredible partner and a great collaborator with us and greatly influenced our planner experience roadmap. Please welcome Donna to the stage. Donna.
Yo, check this out.
They love you. Hi, so good to see you. Okay, Donna, can you tell everybody just what exactly is Cox Automotive all about? What do you guys do?
Certainly. Cox Automotive is an organization that's made up of more than 25 different brands and business units. We're transforming the way the world buys, sells, and owns cars. So some of our brands notable are Kelley Blue Book, you've heard of them, Auto Trader. We're broken down into 5 different solution groups. And those brands, including Mannheim Auto Auctions, is something that you may have heard about in the marketplace.
Okay, and you have over 400 Scrum teams, is that right?
We do. We have over 400 Agile teams that are building and developing product for us.
Okay, that's insane. Like, we've got roughly over 80, close to 90 in ServiceNow. I thought that was a lot. 400 is a ton. Okay, so what have been some of the challenges that you guys have been facing, or what are you going after in terms of transformation?
Yeah, absolutely. A couple of years ago, we purchased DealerTrack, and that was a company also made of about 20 brands. And one of our biggest challenges has been integrating those companies onto our operations and platforms. So there was a lot of redundancy out there, and we had to align our operations into similar tools and similar processes. Okay, and so how did you use ServiceNow to help with that? Yeah, well, besides using our HR portal to help with onboarding and our ITSM for Enterprise Operations Center, we've been implementing, or we just finished implementing, project management and time entry for capturing the capitalization of all those Agile teams' work, as well as our operational work.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot. Okay, so what is your opinion? You've got one, I know. What is your opinion that you would want to share on the planner experience, and what makes a good planner experience?
I would say what makes a good planner experience, and what our planners are asking us for, is to keep it very simple, to eliminate redundant tasks, and to make things visible. So we want to be able to use information that's already in the platform, our vendor contracts, information about how our operations are running, our time entry, the investments that we are putting effort towards, so we can make it easier to plan for the future years.
Okay, that's awesome. So I have one more question for you, and because I want to make sure everybody knows. Tell everybody, it's not a question, I guess it's actually a statement. Tell everybody, why is it at Cox Automotive that they call you the mother of the millennials?
Mother of millennials, M-O-M, mom. Well, you heard them in the back there, but I have a fantastic team. And one of the things that I saw when I was working a couple of years ago on the platform and working with some of our young talent is I just asked them, how could Cox Automotive get better as an organization? And one of the first things they said is, we want to work with other people like us. right? We have an aging workforce, and so I decided that I was going to make it my my personal goal to bring more young talent into the organization, especially in technology. And you can see there that I have a very vibrant team. My team consists of people that were history majors and teachers. I have a health management major doing solution engineering with ServiceNow. We bring them in each summer, and they actually get certified as ServiceNow system administrators. We teach them internally about Cox Automotive and how to operate in an office, and we kind of set them loose. And they're doing great things for us.
Yes, this makes me so happy to see, and I'm even happier because I'm going to snag a couple of Donna's interns and is going to come work at ServiceNow this summer. But the way that you did this, you went to local universities and you just kind of said, hey, come on over, we'll take you. I love that grit. Can you tell us just a little more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't have to be always a computer science major. I think what we're looking for is young talent that can think critically, that are artistic, that want to learn, and want to contribute. And I think we've done a really good job, and we're looking to expand that program throughout our organization.
Well, I love the way that you have gone about looking to expand the ServiceNow ecosystem. You've even expanded it within your own family. Yes. Donna has 3 sons, and 2 of them are ServiceNow certified as well. So she takes it all the way home. But Donna, thank you so much. We really appreciate you joining us. Everybody give Donna a round of applause. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Take care. All right. All of these experiences that you see, all these services that we make incredibly easy for you to build on the platform, if they are not performant, if they're not available, if they're not functioning as we expect, it's almost meaningless. And so the operator and how they do their job and the experience we give them to do their job is critically important. And in order to walk through that, I'd love to have Kevin Murray, my friend and colleague, join us on the stage. He's going to walk us through the operator experience. Kevin, come on out.
Kick it.
I kind of took you. I know. Come on, come on. Okay. There you go, buddy.
Thanks, Farrell. How can IT operations teams work better with service management teams? That's really the big question we'll talk about right now. Now, about 15% of you in the audience have IT operations roles, and about 70% of you in the room have service management roles. And the challenge has been, if things break, those 2 teams have to work together pretty quickly to get stuff done. In fact, I have the privilege of talking to a lot of you and really hearing what those challenges are from time to time, and 3 bubble up consistently when it comes to IT operations. The first is, it's continually difficult to diagnose and pinpoint issues. It's like finding a needle in a haystack. It literally is. And then collaboration across teams is hard. The people that you need help to fix something are not always available, nor is it their priority to help you. And third, resolution takes forever, especially under pressure. The blood pressure goes up, management wants to know what's going on. It's continually a struggle. But as you can tell from the format of this talk today, there is a better way, a better experience. And we're going to show you how you can get fast diagnosis of those major issues, how to collaborate better across teams, ITOM and service management, and how we can supply that rich content for quick remediation. Now, we've got a treat for you today. We were able to, because we're in Vegas, work with one of our largest customers that's a casino. And we were able to invite the head of IT operations for that casino here today. So I'm going to invite him up on stage to share that experience with you. So with that, would you please join me in welcoming the head of IT operations for Palmer's Casino, Mr. Bob Smith. Please welcome Bob.
Yeah! What's up, knowledge? Woo! I can't hear you! What's up, knowledge? Woo!
What's up? What is up, Bob?
How you doing? I'm doing good, man.
I'm just a little surprised to see, I mean, I invited you out here, but I'm a little surprised to see the microphone. What's going on?
You invited me on stage. I thought I was going to sing.
Well, no, I did invite you on stage, but it was to share your experience as head of IT operations for Palmer's Casino. That's what I wanted to talk about.
You want to talk about work?
Yeah.
All right, man. I guess we can talk about work. What do you want to know?
Well, sorry, you seem a little frustrated, so let's channel that frustration.
Dude, work's been bumming lately.
Oh, okay, so what frustrates you at work?
The casino's moving crazy fast, and my team's just struggling to keep up, I'll be honest. All right, check out this example.
Okay.
We just rolled out this new mobile app, right? And the idea is to create this great experience for our customers. They can book hotel rooms, book reservations to restaurants, all that kind of good stuff. But the dev team's trying to move so crazy fast, we just keep getting into these issues where things are breaking. So let's try and book this hotel room. There we go. And problem booking, I'm telling you, man, this is happening all the time.
Well, and here on stage, it's even more embarrassing.
It's very embarrassing on stage.
Okay. Well, you know, I feel like there's someone here that can help you with your problem. Do you mind if I bring that person out?
No, bring them out.
Okay, so it just so happens we have our IT operations product management team here, and I'd like you to join me in welcoming our head of IT operations product management, Mr. Brian Emerson. Join me in welcoming Brian, please.
What's up, Kevin?
Oh,
hey.
Nice.
How you doing?
I thought you were coming out that way.
No, came out over there.
Oh, okay. Oh, I get it. Nice gag.
I got you.
All right, you got me. Okay, so Brian, let's talk a little bit about what Bob's challenges are and, you know, kind of what we can do to resolve those things.
Sure. Yeah, but I think everybody is familiar with this view, right? Someone looking at a bunch of monitoring screens, and you have an outage similar to what Bob's experiencing. And the challenge here is it's not just one person in a single room. It's multiple people across the organization. There's server, network, storage, application teams, people looking at transactions, right? And they all have isolated data coming to them from different monitoring tools, right? So there's a lot of noise that the team's trying to filter through to figure out what's going on, right? That's number one. Number two is that all of those people have to collaborate together to actually figure out how to resolve the issue. And it's resulted in a lot of swivel chair approach to dealing with outages. Right? You're going back and forth between consoles, email, and phone calls to figure out exactly what's going on. And so we really look to reimagine that experience for the operator. I'd like to show you what that looks like.
Well, let's get to it, man. This is the best part. We're going to show you exactly live how we can figure out how to solve these problems.
Okay, so what you're looking at here is our next generation operations console. And there's a lot of cool things here. I just wanted to focus on the here and now. So Bob's having this issue with booking a hotel service. As you can see, that's the thing we bubble up for the operator, right? So you look at the box that's red, right? It says hotel booking service. If I click on that, I can see alerts coming from different monitoring tools, all aggregated into a single place. Right? In this case, it looks like there's an issue with end user response time and a few other alerts. So let's drill into that first alert. And what you're taken into is what we call our alert intelligence console. And this is based on agent workspace, right? And it provides me a rich contextual view as an operator to understand what's going on around this alert. So I can see details about the alert, I can see impacted services, and I also have this Insights button. And if I click on that Insights button, what it's taking me into is a view that combines IT process data with alert-based data. Right? So I can understand similar alerts. I can look and see if there's any issues in terms of related incidents. In this case, it doesn't look like there's any problems. But I can also see that there's a related change. And if I look at the details of that change, I can see that the dev team just rolled out a new release. And because everything else seems to be OK with the infrastructure, I bet you that's the problem. Right? So now what I need to do as an operator is communicate with the rest of the team and let them know what I know. So I'm going to close this down real quick. And one of the things you can see in Alert Intelligence is that we have incident views baked right in. Right? So an incident was already created based on this alert. I can look at the details of that incident. And in this case, I'm just going to communicate with the team. I'm going to type in, look, it looks like the dev team rolled out a new release last night. I think that might be the issue. A lot of users are affected, so I suggest that we promote this to a major incident.
That's tremendous. So that first challenge around diagnosing and pinpointing issues is resolved here with everything we're doing with alert intelligence and all the kind of intelligence behind that. Now the real challenge starts. I wouldn't say that wasn't the real challenge. I guess another challenge is the collaboration piece. And as an IT operations professional, Brian has recommended the major incident team that this needs to be a major incident. I'll play the role of the major incident manager, and I'll show you what it looks like. So I've inherited this information from Brian directly within major incident management. And now what we're able to do is see everything we need to make a good decision on whether or not I agree that this is a major incident. Number one, I can see the number of services impacted. I could see the affected CIs. I can even see the number of service outages. So I indeed do agree, and I think it's absolutely worthy of being designated a major incident. Now, I've really got to get to work. I've got to actually switch into gear to communicate out broadly to everyone that needs to help me resolve this issue. Now, you can see everything kind of laid out in the middle here under communications. You can see that I've got a playbook. I can do a technical update. I can do a business update. I can do everything I need to do to assemble the troops. I can even invite those people to a conference call. And I can do that through email and text, which would be typical, but actually adding Slack is a big deal. That's where most of these folks are working. So I can invite them to this conference call, and they can accept from Slack as well. So even though we're offering different ways to communicate, we're offering the most common way to do that. So they go ahead and they join the conference call. You can see that it's all teed up with the attendees there on the left. And over on the right, you can see that Brian is already hard at work, working with the dev team, chatting about the implications of that change.
Yeah, that's great, Kevin. And so for me as an operator, I never left Alert Intelligence, right? I was having this chat communication with the rest of the team in the console that I'm used to, right? And so in this case, the dev team agrees with me. They think there's an issue with the release, and we want to do a rollback. And so now as an operator, I need to initiate the remediation or resolution by doing a rollback. And so in this case, I click on the Resolve button. What that's going to do is pop up a list of actions that I can take. And one of the things that we're doing is we're starting to leverage machine learning to bubble up the right actions for the operator based on what we've seen in the past. So in this case, we can see that there's an option to roll back to the previous version. So if I click on that, what it's going to do is it's going to drive an automation workflow in the background. It's going to do that rollback within the system. And now let's take a look at the dashboard. Right, so now we can see that it looks like the hotel booking service is back online, and Bob should be good to go.
Well, you know that Bob's the only one that can actually tell us whether or not it's back online.
I agree.
Right? So why don't we do this? Why don't we see if we can bring Bob back? Would you guys like to see Bob again? No? Yes? Well, there's like 10 people that want to see Bob again. So let's go ahead and bring Bob back out wherever he may be.
Yo, Kevin.
Oh, okay. Nice.
What's up, man?
The quick change is awesome. All right, so why don't we take a look at your mobile and see if things are copacetic?
Yeah, let's take a look. Sweet, man. Looks like the app's working. Just booked a room.
All right, man.
Thank you.
All right. All right, give it up for Bob. So there's that better operations experience, a fast diagnosis of major issues, a seamless collaboration across teams, and that rich content for quick remediation. Some of the things you saw in action today, this one's really important. It comes a little later out in Madrid, but it's the evolution of Workspace, the thing we announced today. We'll develop it for each of these different roles. And so Operations Workspace is the dashboard, the single pane that you'll see in the Madrid timeframe. And you saw Alert Intelligence. You saw how Brian was able to quickly pinpoint and diagnose using the intelligence behind everything. That's available in London, but under limited access. And then finally, Major Incident Management is available today, not only available as of Kingston, but improved and updated in London as well. So now, those operation teams can resolve issues in a fraction of the time as before. What do you think?
Kevin, amazing. Let me ask you something, though.
Yeah.
You didn't let me sing. Can we at least take a selfie together?
Oh, yeah, but we got to include Farrell if we're going to do that.
Let's bring her out here.
All right, Farrell. Right on, let's go. Make some noise for the selfie.
Yeah.
You guys want to be in the selfie?
All right.
Go.
See.
All right.
Awesome.
Thank you, Farrell.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
guys.
very much.
All right, take off. Okay. As you can see today, all these experiences across IT are incredible, and they're just the start. They're absolutely just the start for us. And I want you to do two things. One, I want you to go on the showroom floor, and I want you to get your hands on these experiences. Get in there, test it out, try it out, because you're going to build them. You're going to build them too. And that means you need to go to the Day 3 keynote as well and see how these things are being built. They're going to walk you through exactly how to build every single one of those experiences. And I can't wait to see what you build. And the very last thing that I have to say is welcome to the era of experience. It's happening now. Thank you. Take care.